to my channel, Cooking and Sipping with Hope. I'm super excited about this episode because I have a new toy. But first, let's get into what I'm sipping on. I have a Dos Equis lager. Very good, you guys. If you guys like that dark beer, it's not that bitter taste. I actually put a little lime in it to make it taste not really better, but I get just enhanced a little. But enough about that. Let's get into the reason for this video. My new toy. I have a charcoal grill with a smoker, you guys. A charcoal grill with a smoker. Now I'm used to grilling, but I've never, ever smoked anything. So, let me tell you what I did. In my mind, I can see it coming out great. I can really see it coming out great. I did my research on some things. I know I wanted some pulled pork. I'm not really a big fan of pork, but I love a great pulled pork with that North Carolina, vinegar based type thing. Cause I'm a country girl. Maybe with a little coleslaw and then some hot sauce. So I'm gonna attempt to try to make this, you guys. You guys are gonna go along with me this whole ride. Just to see how this works, my ins and outs, my trials and tribulations with working with this smoker. Like I said, this is my first time ever smoking, so I have to get to learn the smoker that I have. And I actually have a char grill. It's a professional char grill, grill and smoker. That's the name of it. But enough rant. Let's get into this video. I actually went to one of my local stores, which was Fry's. I got a great deal. I found a Boston butt that was already trimmed and cut for me. I really don't have to do much to it. I rinsed it. Let's show you what this puppy looked like. It's about 6.84 pounds. So I'm gonna just use this. Let's let you look at this poke butt. This is what it is. Look how it's trimmed, you guys. It's minimum fat. It's just enough so to get that fat rendering as I'm actually cleaning it. Now, what am I going to do first? This is what I'm going to do. Like I said, I already rinsed it. I'm going to do a vinegar base with this. So I'm going to just rinse it in vinegar, just to get that little slimy texture off, of fresh meat. This will also help when I go ahead and put my rub on. But I'm gonna just rinse it. All right. Then again, I'm gonna rinse it again. With some water. And I'm just rinsing that off. Yeah, just rinsing it. Now this is the night before. I'm not going to put this on the smoker until tomorrow, so got that all rinsed off. Okay. Now, alright you guys, let me put you up just a little bit so you can see me just as well as the meat. What I did. So I'm kind of cut off, but I'm trying to get it so you guys can actually see me. So I dried the meat off with paper towel after I, put my vinegar rinse on, and then I rinsed it again with some water. Now, I'm going to inject this puppy. I'm going to use what I have in here. This is some apple juice. Now, from my research, I've learned that, apple juice, it adds just a little sweetness in it, and it also helps with the moisture of the pork. So, I'm going to put some in my injector here. Now this is where I got this from Walmart. Roughly maybe about $5 for it. Now when I put this in, I'm not just going to inject it and then put it straight into the meat. I'm going to move it around a little bit because I don't want any, like pockets. Seasoned pockets, with just little sections where it's semi-seasoned, So I'm just going to continue to put some of this orange juice, apple juice. to this bird. Why am I thinking about, maybe because I cooked chicken tonight. I'm thinking about chicken. So let's pull some more into here. And again, this is only a 6 to 7 pound. But make sure that this thing turns out great. Like I said, you guys are gonna go follow me along this journey the whole way through. The whole way through. Splash myself. If it turns out great, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Trial and error. But I'm gonna wipe up some of this apple juice. I don't want the fat and the dry of this to be in vain. So again, I'm gonna pat it again. And make sure you have a drip pan, because this is gonna sit in your fridge overnight. And you don't want to drip it all into your refrigerator. So, all right. Whatever dry rub you decide to use, if you want to make it your own, do that. I got some rub here. I'm just gonna put it all over this puppy. Make sure you get it all over it, so you can get that nice bark on it once you start. So now, I'm gonna wrap this up, like I said, overnight. And I'm gonna get up bright and early in the morning, you guys. Bright and early. Again, first time smoking. I should have got some saran wrap, but I clearly forgot in the store. But I'm gonna get up bright and early in the morning. I'm gonna try to cook this at 225, you know, at an hour per pound. And this is, like I said, it's 6.8. So let's say this is roughly 7 pounds. All right, good morning, you guys. I was supposed to start this process a lot longer with getting up early to get my coals ready, you know, for the start this process of putting this Boston butt on this grill. Now, I had to go back to the store to do a couple things. One, my babe got some match light, which I didn't want to use, so I had to take it back to the store to get some original Kingsford charcoal. You know, that's all you really need. I don't like using, you know, the lighter fluid items, because I don't like, sometimes it can get into your food and your taste, and then I don't recommend it, and I was reading, you know, that I shouldn't. Everybody, excuse me, you guys. So, we can get this started now. Another thing, I didn't get any gloves, so now I just have some pot holders, because this is pretty hot. So I'm gonna pull this out. Coals are nice and hot. Be very careful. I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like. I bought a chimney starter, charcoal starter, but you can see the coals. I'm just going into my grill. Make sure all of them are in there. Sit this on the side. Right here. Now I'm gonna go get, I didn't bring everything out here with me, but let me go get something real quick, because I'm gonna have to. Alright, you guys, I'm back. Let me show you what my coals are looking like. This is what it looks like. They're nice and ready. So now I'm gonna toss a couple of my wood chips in there. I have some apple wood chips that I'm gonna use, and I also have some hickory chunks. Now, we want this to burn for some hours, so I'm gonna put in a reasonably amount. What I do, you guys, I'm crazy. So put about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, let's go 7 chunks. And then I have some pre-soaked applewood chips, if you can see these. I'm gonna throw these in that mix. Ooh, you smell that already. You just throw these on there. This is gonna give it a little extra flavor too in the smoker of your meat. So I'm gonna just toss these up there. Make sure you drain these properly so you know won't put your fire out. Don't worry about that little extra smoke. Now, let me get all this on out the way. Don't mind me if you can't really see me. Okay, I'm gonna put this down. Open up my damper a little bit. Just a little. Because you know if you close that, that's gonna smother your fire down. So, I'm gonna close this puppy up. This is what it's looking like. Don't mind all that extra smoke. I'm gonna close it up. I have this closed as well just to get my temperature rising. So now we want this to get to about 225. So I'm gonna time it to see how long it really takes in order for it to get to that temperature, and we can go from there. Like I said, don't mind that little smoke right there. It's getting ready. That's what it's called. This is a smoker, you guys. I can't wait to put this piece of meat up here. So I'm gonna come back out, keep checking on it, checking on my temperature just to see where it is. I want to add at least 225 to before I even put that. All right, you guys, this has been a struggle. I finally got my temperature to kind of be at a steady 225. So that's why I want to cook this at for an hour per pound. Again, this was 6.84 pounds, so I'm gonna use this as 7 pounds. So let's say 7-8 hours roughly. Now every hour I'm going to come out and maybe spray it with a little bit of I haven't decided yet. I don't know if I want to continue to use my apple juice or do I want to use my apple cider vinegar, just to keep the top and everything a little moist every hour. And then I actually have, let me show you what I have. My thermometer, my digital thermometer that I showed you guys last night. So I'm going to take this and stick this in the meat. I have a target number right here on the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see it because there's a lot of sun, but it's set for 145. So once that meat gets to that 140, 145, 150 range, that's when I'm going to take it back off, wrap it in some foil. Don't mind me using my hands, but that's okay. All right. Now, like I said, we're going to smoke this for, let's see, about 7 hours. 7-8 hours might be pushing it, but I'm going to stick my temperature gauge in it now before I actually close it. Let's do it at the, and remember this has a bone in it, so let's do it at the thicker side of it. Okay, that's where the bone is. Let's go right there in the center of the meat, and I'm going to close this back up. Let that temperature raise back up to 225. Now again, I set this target. I set the target for 145. So once that meat get up to that temperature, to that 145, I also have some logs that I actually took out to help control, the fire, because it kept going over 300. It was going up to like 350. So I took a couple of my wood chips out, not my wood chips, my wood logs, chunks out of it, and it lowered the temperature greatly. So now I'm gonna just wait to see if it goes back up to that 225 mark. If it does, cool, I will monitor it. If it doesn't, I will readjust the flames on it and let you, like I said, this is a trial and error for me, you guys. My first time ever smoking. I've always grilled. It's a challenge. I just have to get to learn this professional char griller, then I'll be set. Okay, you guys, it has been a long, trying day. We're trying to get this grill to work. There were moments where the temperature was steady, and then there were moments where it just stayed at 200. So majority of the time it stayed on the grill, but there wasn't no constant, for real constant heat on it. Let me put it that way. It actually stayed up there until I, wrapped it up. I got the meat up until about 160. So I was about done with it. I started out with the wood chips and the wood chunks. That was burning fairly fast, so I found myself adding more and adding more. I went for a whole bag of the wood chunks. So I went back to Walmart and then I ended up getting the logs. Now I started trying it with the logs. It took a little longer for it to light. At that point, you know, I was a little fed up. I said, I'm gonna just finish it in the oven. So I brought it in the house, set the oven for 300 degrees, and just put it in the pan with the juices that was in the foil. And I'm gonna let it cook for a little bit until the temperature gets to 195 right now. All right, you guys, so after all day, this pork butt is finished. I'm gonna cross my fingers. But the bone just came straight out. Let me show you what it looks like. I got the temperature up to around 195 for the meat. And it's good, 190 to the 200. But the bone slid right out of it. Came right out this side right here. This is what the meat is looking like. So I'm gonna transfer it from here to here, so I can pull it apart. Save some of this juice. I'm gonna just stop pulling it apart. Another fork. Just pull it all apart.